I'm a person on the internet. So I was reading Foxcraft, The Taken, a while ago. Now it's a while ago. By Inbali I can't pronounce her last name, I apologize. But it's basically a book about a fox named Iserles. It's Isla, so it's a bit harder for me to say, and I apologize for that again. But she basically lives with her family in this place called the Wildlands, and she and her family live there in a stump because they're foxes. And later in her life, she's fairly new to this whole life thing. She's newly born, but basically her parents go somewhere and they get attacked, and then they come and attack their grandmother and her brother runs away and she's left alone, and then she goes on a giant quest and stuff. The world that they made feels very similar to Warriors, which makes sense. The writer did write Survivors, which is a similar series to Warriors, and it was made by the same team. With it, though, it feels more kind of magical than any other series I've read that isn't primarily about magic and wizards and everything, because it does have different, not necessarily things, but it has more, like the title says, they have Foxcraft, which is basically 5 different traits that foxes can get. There's cacaring, which is basically shifting your voice to either sound like you're far away while you're near, or to echo a lot. If you're not in an area that's echoey. The thing is, with our main character Iserles, she can mimic a crow very well, which was her first Foxcraft. She gets that. Her brother used to do that. His name is a name. But with that, she basically gets that. She also learns slimmering, which is basically turning yourself it's basically you can make yourself invisible, but with most of these Foxcraft, there is a weakness to it. Cacaring has if you are able to sense out where the voice is coming from, which is fairly hard, but if you can find it out, you'll be able to either attack or go find the person you're looking for. With slimmering, if you blink a lot, that's how it works. That's how you're able to be found out. There's also Wakari, /A/KKIR, which is basically you can shift into other, I guess they're like dog type animals, because they can't turn into cats, but they can turn into dogs and wolves because of this magical thing, which is kind of like their star clan, their star clan, because that's the only thing I can relate it to. And yeah, there's also Masharma, which is basically every animal, every like wolf, fox, and dog has this thing called Ma, which basically is like your life essence. Like in Kingdom Hearts, you have a heart. That's basically like their heart, but they can share it with other people with a price, with them being less energetic or less lively. There's also Grandma Share, Gerra, and then Charm, which is basically our main character has it, which most likely a lot of other foxes don't have it, but it's basically you are connected with someone so much that you can basically go and see what the other person is seeing if in a dream. Usually not, like the only time we've seen it is with a dream and with her brother, which we are explained by a character later is basically why that's happening. When she lived with her brother and her family before they died and left, they would do everything together. They would eat together, they would hunt together, they would play together. They basically did everything together, which makes sense. They're litter mates, and apparently they were born in like a weird time which also makes them kind of special. So I wanted to talk about a scene in the book that kind of made me upset. This book is like, it's a good book, and I'm not saying it's bad, but it kind of meh. Because basically what happened is the main character meets this guy named Siffrin, and she becomes like allies with him, but isn't able to trust him because he didn't tell her that her parents died, because he saw it and was like tracking her because he needed to go find her brother Perry for a reason that we're not told, because reasons. But basically she can't trust her anymore and leaves, and like they get into a really big argument. The reason I'm kind of upset with this is because it reminded me a lot of the scene in Harry Potter when they came in Order of the Phoenix, where Harry came back after Sirius died. Spoilers. After Sirius died, and basically got into a fit and started wrecking Dumbledore's office. And as he did, and Dumbledore was completely fine with this. He's just like, I have too many collectibles anyway, just break them all. But the only reason it reminded me of that was because they had two characters who not necessarily found out that they were dead in Harry's case, but in Isla's case, she found out that they were dead and are very upset about it. Both of them are very upset. Both are very angry, not necessarily to the person, but to the reason why they can't get the people that just died back. And it kind of just more, not necessarily hurt me, but more it made me feel weird, because personally, it was better in Order of the Phoenix when they did it. I don't know if you would feel the same way when reading this book to reading Order of the Phoenix. You might. I don't know. You are a different person. My feelings and thoughts of the book is it's a good book. It's probably not in my top 10. To be fair, I haven't read a lot of books, and I'm trying to get through like Lemony Snicket, which is hard. So I don't know if this series is like the best series ever or it's really bad. I personally don't know because I haven't read a lot, but I have read like Harry Potter, and I'm getting through Lord of the Rings, and I read The Hobbit, and I read Lemony Snicket, and all of those are not necessarily, well, they are better, but that's just how I feel like it. I feel like they just attract me more than this book. Like, I love warriors, but with this book, it's in first person, which kind of bugs me because I don't really like first person. And the other thing is I don't find Isla a very compelling character, but all the other things, the world building is amazing. They're in this place called the Greylands, and that's basically a giant city. So like Toronto times like 10, I don't know. But she basically goes into this world, and it's huge, so we get to see a lot of different parts of it. They actually climb up a building and can see like the whole thing at one point, and that made me very happy because I love world building. I find it amazing that they were able to do that. They also have a lot of things that aren't really not really cleared up, but are still kind of mysterious, which makes sense because this is part of a series, I'm pretty sure, or is going to be a series. But for me, that's kind of one of the things that I'm like, you are fine if you have world building, but you also have to have a more compelling character. My favorite character was probably Siffrin, because he was at least more developed, or seemed more developed than Isla did, even though we've been with Isla longer. Yeah, and that's pretty much it, because I don't have a lot to say about this book. I hope you read it and enjoy it and like it, so bye.